Donald Trump just kicked out the press from the Oval Office during a bizarre press conference he held on Saturday with Joe Rogan in the Oval Office. And this came at the same time that the press was asking him questions about Iran. You see, earlier on Saturday morning, Iran announced that it was once again fully closing the Strait of Hormuz. Iran said that the Trump regime's bad faith negotiation tactics.
This is happening. Trump panics and kicks out press as Iran retaliates. As of the news we have right now, Iran IRGC takes full control of the Strait of Hormuz. Yes, even opened fired at one of the vessels right there.
The continued misrepresentations by Donald Trump of Iran's negotiation positions, the continued blockade over the Persian Gulf, and the continued escalation and threats by Donald Trump made negotiations untenable. And Iran said while it was previously permitting some ships to cross through the Strait of Hormuz, provided it was coordinated with Iran, they are shutting that down. And so
Yes, yes, everything is shut down right now. Iran said, we let some of the ships let go through and in and out. But right now, you blocked our Strait of Hormuz. Now we are taking full control of that. And Iran IRGC just throws out the US military 10,000 of their troops and ships and air, whatever they have, everything out of the Strait of Hormuz.
some of the ships that we saw leaving the Strait of Hormuz using the ship tracker satellite, they suddenly turned back, and we also learned that Iran was actually shooting at some of those ships
I
that at
told you.
first were refusing to listen to Iran's orders to head back. Iran ultimately got all of the ships that were leaving to go back to where they started, and the Strait of Hormuz is once again fully closed. Also, Iran's leadership is saying it has no current intentions
No.
to meet up with the United States before the ceasefire deadline expires on Wednesday, and Iran says it is fully prepared to go back to war with the United States if that.
This is what happening. Pakistan peace talks is on the way right now, but Iran says we're not meeting any of the countries, especially US, yes, before the ceasefire expires.
That's what Donald Trump wants to do by not agreeing to negotiate within Iran's 10-point negotiating framework
Yes,
that
it
Donald
is.
Trump previously agreed to. I want to share with you the moment first where Donald Trump kicked out members of the press from the Oval Office as they were asking him questions about Iran. They were asking him questions about his claim that
Damn, this is bad representation as a president, right?
Iran was agreeing to all of these things and that the American military was going to join forces with the Iranian military to go and get the nuclear material and bring it back to the United States, and that Iran was no longer going to fund proxy groups like
Oh,
Hezbollah and the
okay. This is big of the points. Guys, if you're listening this point, these are the big points.
Houthis and the Shiite militias in Iraq, which Iran said 100% false, or Donald Trump's representations that the Strait of Hormuz would be fully open without the control of Iran, which Iran denied. So the press wanted to ask him those types of questions, right, after they regurgitated and spewed like stenographers what he was feeding to them on Friday. And then Donald Trump just said, out, get out. Let me show you the moment that
If this is what happening, I mean, where is your freedom of speech? Where is your freedom of getting information about your country and what your country is doing from your taxes, money? I mean, where? Let's see.
went down. Let's play it.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Would you ever fire
Yeah?
This way, guys.
No way, no
Just so
way.
you can see what this bizarre press conference was all about on Saturday, you had Joe Rogan in the Oval Office. And I think this entire move by having Joe Rogan there on Saturday, he was saying he was signing some executive order inspired by Joe Rogan. I think it was all part of a broader distraction plan from what's happening in Iran and the escalation that is taking place. But here's what he said about Rogan so you can see for yourself how bizarre this
Okay, Joe Rogan was there, the podcaster, interviewer like type of person.
is. He talks about going on Rogan's podcast, and Kamala Harris
Okay,
didn't go on Rogan's podcast.
yeah.
Watch this clip right here. Let's play it.
I want to tell everybody how this happened. I sent President Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses.
Oh,
It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With one dose of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great.
is he like reading some from somewhere? I think he's reading from somewhere.
Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration.
Okay, okay. Richard Nixon passed that. Okay.
They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're
Yes.
free of that now.
Okay.
We're free of that now. Thanks to all these people that we see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
I mean, Joe Rogan's height is so small to them. Why am I
Let's
clapping?
talk about what was going down this morning, what Donald Trump wants to distract us from, which we will not be distracted from. So, commercial
Okay.
vessels began reporting multiple attacks in the Strait of Hormuz earlier this morning as Iran attempted to close the strait once again.
Here we have.
At least one ship, we believe that was an Indian flag ship,
Oh,
was hit by potentially unknown projectiles when Iran was shooting at it when it refused to turn around at first. And we were able to hear the radio traffic. They were saying, "Safe by Navy, safe by Navy. You gave us permission." And Iran said, "No, turn back right now. We are shutting this down right now." And then all of the ships returned. Iran confirmed that the Strait of Hormuz was fully closed. The main spokesperson
this is what happening, guys. This is what happening. They literally closed the Hormuz and attacking on ships from some of their technologies.
for the Iranian Revolutionary Guard announced transit through the strait reverted to its previous state of strict military control, citing repeated U.S. violations and piracy under the guise of a blockade. Goes on to say, one of the top Iranian leaders says, "We warned you, Donald, we warned you, United States, but you ignored it. Now enjoy the Strait of Hormuz returning to its status quo." Then Iran put out on its Fars news agency the following
Damn, this is what happening. I mean, what are they doing literally right now? I mean, everyone is watching. The whole world is watching, and damn.
message. A spokesperson for Iran's Revolutionary Guard says the Islamic Republic of Iran, following previous agreements, has consented with good intentions in the negotiations conducted to allow a limited number of oil tankers and commercial ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz in a managed manner. But unfortunately, the Americans, with their repeated breaches of trust that are part of their track record, continue to engage in piracy and maritime theft under the so-called title of blockade. For this reason, control of the Strait of Hormuz has returned to its previous state, and this strategic strait is under the strict management and control of the armed forces.
Damn, this is big one. This is big hit to US. on their winning strategy.
It announces that until the United States puts an end to the complete freedom of movement for vessels from Iranian origin to destinations and from destinations to Iranian origin, the status of the Strait of Hormuz will remain under strict control and in its previous state right there. As our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski writes, you all
I mean, let me tell you, the previous state is like closed for everyone.
always have to pay attention to what is actually happening, not what Donald Trump says is happening, because Trump lies about everything. Too
Man,
often, the
yeah.
media serves as Trump's daily stenographer, passing along his propaganda verbatim. Phil Stewart over at Reuters writes, Reuters is reporting that Iran is broadcasting this VHF message. Attention all
Also,
ships, attention all ships. Regarding the failure of the U.S. government to fulfill
oh
its commitments in the
damn.
negotiation, Iran declares the Strait of Hormuz completely closed again. No vessel of any type or nationality is allowed to pass through the Strait of Hormuz.
This is big thing. This is very big.
Then Iranian social media accounts posted this.
Whoa.
Dear world, the Strait of Hormuz is under new management. Passage. Fees apply. Security and environmental upkeep. Blockade. Ceasefire broken. Hostility. No passage. Not even a sliver.
Oh.
Thank you for your understanding. Iran
Iran Supreme National Security Council.
Supreme National Security Council. Then the Trump White House posted a photo this morning of Donald Trump saying, let him cook, is what the White House posted, to which the Iranian social media account said, the most cooked president ever. The Iranian social media
The most cooked president ever, they said.
accounts also posted. So there are reports of some people making
Loser with the Trump face in it. Damn.
$60 million by betting on falling oil prices just minutes before recent announcements regarding the Strait of Hormuz.
And you know who we talking about, who made profits from the short footing. We all know, right? Coming down his name.
Familiar laugh face emoji. Other than his consistent pattern of losing political gambles, the only other reliable constant about Trump is his corruptness. That's what's coming out of Iran's social media. Iran is also saying we have not agreed to any other round of talks with the United States, citing the U.S. pressure tactics, which include Trump's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and what it calls unreasonable demands. We're also hearing right now from one of Iran's top leaders, Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister
Saeed Khatibzad.
Saeed Khatibzadeh says Donald Trump talks too much. He needs to think before he speaks. He says all of these contradictory things. But if Donald Trump really means that he wants to go back to war with us, that he's not going to pursue a ceasefire in good faith, that he's not going to negotiate within the 10-point framework,
This is bad, whatever is happening right now. Donald Trump is lying to whole world.
then we are prepared to defend Iran. Here is what Iran's foreign minister, deputy foreign minister, has to say. Let's play this clip.
Trying to sabotage the path of the diplomatic efforts
Okay.
through this diplomatic circus that they are adopting. They thought that the force and the pressure and the escalation is part of the solution. No, these cannot be for the benefit of anyone. Diplomacy must prevail.
Yes, not benefit to anyone, I think so.
One by one, please, one by one. President Trump said that if there is no agreement on Wednesday, there will be a return to the military action.
Oh,
Then let's President Trump talk. He talks too much. He said contradictory things within the same statement. This cannot be prevailed. I don't know what exactly he meant. The American people must decide about him if his statements are aligned and
then he just roasted Donald Trump, got roasted.
if they are going with international law, then we will continue our defense with all heroism, with all nationalism and patriotism. We will defend Iran, the oldest civilization on the planet.
Yes,
We
they say the Persian. I mean, Iranian is the Persian. We call it earlier Persian. Now they changed to Iranian. Persian civilization is the oldest civilization on the planet, is what they're saying. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts coming down?
will fight till the last Iranian soldier. War cannot lead to any positive solution. The
Okay.
Americans must understand and must learn the lesson. The era of colonialism must come to an end. They cannot dictate the orders on the other nations.
As we explained on the Midas Touch Network, Iran has not agreed to a next round of talks with the U.S., citing these pressure tactics. Tehran says negotiations will only continue if these demands, the unreasonable maximalist demands by the Trump regime, stop, adding that it has sent the same message through its Pakistani
Pakistan, man.
intermediary. That's the feared Marshal Asim Munir. Reminder, Trump said yesterday he expected a deal within a day or two.
I don't think no deal is coming. No deal is coming, man.
As our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski also explains,
Okay.
the worst possible tactic you can use when negotiating a deal with a regime like Iran is to dunk on them in public during negotiations.
Ooh,
Any
damn.
knowledgeable, seasoned diplomat knows this.
Damn, dude, this is a big one, Ron. Yeah, Ron.
We have Mr. Art of the Deal who needs to feed his cult and the markets a steady diet of BS. We
He's talking about President Donald Trump. I'm gonna be pretty clear right
also
here.
are learning that Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, says the country's navy is ready to inflict new bitter defeats
Oh.
on its enemies. So, folks, things are escalating right now. Also, you have Iran releasing this new Lego
Damn, what? Lego?
video. I'll just show you a short clip of it,
Okay.
mocking Donald Trump having fake negotiations with Iran.
They're mocking Donald every time.
And I mean, just humiliating the
Okay,
United
let's watch
States.
it.
Here, play this
Let's
clip.
watch it.
I'm
Yeah.
going to talk to the Ayatollah now to resolve the Strait of Hormuz issue.
What's the price of oil?
Dad, please be patient a little longer. Can you open the Strait of Hormuz? Who are you even? I have the biggest military on earth. Whatever you say, Mr. Trump, the strait is all yours. Beat it, because I've already talked to Iran and the strait will be open shortly.
Damn. What is this?
Thanks, everyone. We are the best. Everybody knows this.
Hey Taram, you are fired. You are familiar with this sentence.
Oh, damn. This is funny. This is funny. Let's watch it.
Thank you for your attention to this matter. The central headquarters of Khatam al-Anbiya.
The escape of Epstein scandal. Trump attacked Iran. Iran retaliated against US bases and threatened to close the Strait of Hormuz, crashing the global economy. Rejecting all negotiations, Iran's defiance marks the end of American regional hegemony.
But you know, when you have propaganda media out there like the New York Post and state regime media like Fox,
New York Post is a truly propaganda.
this is what the front page of the New York Post is today. Setting them straight. Iran surrenders Hormuz and Trump says peace deal close. The height of propaganda right there.
Damn.
It's ridiculous. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's
Yes.
get to 7 million subscribers.
Thank you, media. I mean, this is best news ever.